With every new season, wait, not season, episode. I'm gonna keep calling it a season. With every new season of Destiny, we typically do get a few new exotics, the one exception usually being the fourth in a year. However, with the episodes that have come, we do have weirder selections and more limited at the time, because at current we only at least have 4 exotics, and only one of them is actually a weapon. The weapon of name is the Season Pass exotic, which I already forgot the name of it. Alethomni, I'm just gonna shoot the shot, which is basically a mini mountaintop, which is the first exotic of its kind, because a mountaintop is only one of its kind, where basically the shot flies infinitely in the straight direction. It does not have any drop-off, essentially. It flies and hits the target exactly where you shoot it. In addition to that, it does have the rocket jump ability, which is a nice little perk on top. Now, it is, of course, stasis damage, unlike Mountaintop, which is also the first of its kind because it is a stasis grenade launcher that is primary ammo, which is akin to the Fighting Lion, which means, of course, it is infinite ammo in all respects. And it does work out quite well because being infinite ammo, it can work a lot for generating ammo. The main perk is the Harvester Spike, where it obviously fires a harvester spike. Dealing final blows with said weapon causes a single vestige at the target's location. Think of the things that Thorn and Lumina creates, except this time it is blue, I imagine. Impaling more powerful combatants with said projectile creates a steady stream of vestiges from the target. Now, it doesn't specify alive or dead, but I do imagine it means dead. Otherwise, that will be a nice and nifty perk on top. The main perk is Vestigial Alchemy, where basically the weapon gains energy when you pick up vestiges to allow you to create ammo for your projectile's impact points. At 50% you get your special ammo, at 100% you get your heavy. To transform into special, you press and hold long press, and it will give you that one, and then you press and hold it again, and you will get heavy ammo, which is a pretty self-explanatory process. Essentially shoot, build up a bar, and then eventually make heavy ammo at the shot, which also works out because at the shot, as opposed to at enemy defeat, you could easily shoot it to enemies, or shoot it to allies in odd spots to give them a little bit of ammo perk up. Odd point for warlocks. They don't need to have Cenotaph Mask anymore if you want to generate ammo. But then there is the exotic armor available for each of the classes, all of it stasis focused. The Titans get the Blast Wave Striders, where basically you get resistance to your own explosives. Defeating targets will charge the armor, and once charged, you can slide or deal explosive self-damage to rocket jump backward and blast a deadly shrapnel projectile that will spawn stasis crystals on impact, and charge rockets jumps grant frost armor. So this is basically Antaeus Wards, but spicy. Or not spicy, icy. In addition, it does mix in a little bit of Icefall Mantle. I think Icefall Mantle needs Antaeus Wards, now that I think of it. It's gonna be quite niche. I imagine it works best on the stasis-only subclasses, because obviously Prismatic, it needs more neutral game exotics, obviously thinking of the class items, but I imagine it is quite nifty and possibly quite fun. I imagine it being a bit of a terror in the Crucible, though, for a little while. The Hunters have the Mask of Fealty, which makes it so that the Withering Blade melee will hit and bounce and create a small stasis crystal on the hit point, and refund a portion of melee energy. Using the Withering Blade to shatter a crystal or frozen targets will release a spread of Withering Blades, which I imagine is just Cluster Bomb or maybe an Incinerator Snap, but broad spectrum. Which, it sounds quite nifty, especially considering that aside from Light Shift and the other neutral game exotics, there isn't much for Stasis Warlock, Stasis Hunter, so I do imagine this is going to be nifty and at least part of a fun build. For the Warlocks, there is the Rime-coat Raiment, which is the Bleak Domain perk. Your bleakwatcher turrets are enhanced with extended range and are surrounded by stasis crystals and a storm. While standing in said storm, you are granted icicles over time. Icicles activate when you fire weapons, applying slow to targets they hit, basically making you part bleakwatcher, which sounds incredibly powerful. Although Osmiomantes is in a bit of a unique state because it is already just so great. It has to be really good to match against Osmiomantes. Now, aside from that, there is a few catalysts in the game currently. I will throw the catalyst for the grenade launcher on screen right now, but actually, speaking of which, there is one more grenade launcher to keep in track of in case you wanted to keep an eye out for it. There is Salvation's Grip to earn from any of your standard ritual activities and eventually come upon if you just play the game. The perk, destroying a stasis crystal or defeating a frozen target with this weapon grants you frost armor. So maybe Shadow Dive Hunters can actually survive in the wild nowadays. But aside from that, that is everything exotic that we have to worry about exactly right now. With the limited variety of weapons as well as only one piece of armor, there isn't much else to report on aside from that in terms of exotics. I imagine as the act goes on, of course, we might get another exotic weapon, possibly a new weapon quest. maybe even more armor, but it's hard to say because, of course, the episode is the second, which usually has more in the story-wise, but maybe less in terms of the pure content. With that, my name is TheMadScorpyon. I will see you in the next video.